welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today I'm going to take inspiration from my pattern. Mainly, I say that because I'm totally sure that I'm going to change this up quite a bit. But the pattern that we're taking our inspiration from is 70162 on friendshipbracelets.net. And I'm just going to copy this part up here at the top. I'm going to bring it over here to my template that I've already got sized up and ready to go. And I'm going to rotate this around 90 degrees. There we go. And then I'm going to use this one, which is the scale tool, and make this bigger so I can see kind of what's going on. There we go. And then I'm going to attach that to a new layer. That way I can kind of move this thing around and put it wherever I want. So I'm going to put it right there. And I'm okay with using the blue. It's the white I don't want to use because that's the same as our background. So let me find a different color. Sure, a light yellow works, I guess. So yeah, this thing here, whatever this is supposed to be, it looks like it's got like a couple little hearts or something. Like I have no idea what their intention was, but I like it a lot, and I want that to be the middle of my little project here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4 this way, 2, 3, 4 this way, and then this little part comes down like that. So these came up. It's kind of going to take me a second to figure out. Yeah, I think this is right. Okay, so this is up to there. And of course, if you haven't watched my videos before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out half of the bracelet, and then I'm going to copy and paste and flip it to do the other half. So we only have to concentrate on one half of it. Now I really don't know how much space I have to work with here, but I was thinking that this thing here repeats so many times. It's almost unnecessary in my mind to go that many times. So I'm going to cut it down a bit. Let's go with this for now and see if that's enough. If I might actually have to do a whole lot of changing things. We'll see how that goes. So if that's our length there, then it goes back into the little diamond, right? And then, yeah, this gets a little bit complicated. So there's our part of the heart thing. This has got the little bump out to make a diamond on either side. Like that, right? And then the little heart thing is like this on the other side. It really is kind of complex. I have to say, like, it really kind of throws me for a loop. Okay, so now we have a lot of space in between here. So that leaves me wondering, should we have made this part longer? I don't know. So there's only these 4 strands here. I don't know where the other ones kind of come in at. There's a possibility we could leave these yellows to come in from up here and make the end be blue. Mind you, okay, so this thing is like a 16 string bracelet. It doesn't need to be so wide because you didn't need to necessarily have so much blue on the edges. This could have come out to the edge. But see, you've got all this extra space out here, which is kind of cool. And I thought I would kind of leave that in. Now I'm kind of wondering, well, here, let's put in our underlying strings. Let's first figure out where all this stuff is kind of going. Because yeah, that this might change a little bit of my ideas of how this thing works out. So, ooh, this can't, something's wrong here. So how did they get this to be the yellow there? So I can see how this can be the dark blue, right? However, these can't come straight, right? Because you need the dark blue to come into here. So there is a question of where do those strings go? That's really weird. Are they just hiding for the most part underneath the blues? Because that's the way it seems. Wait, let's take a look at this over here. Yeah, so this sort of just kind of went up and underneath a bunch of blue to come back down to here and then back out underneath. So yeah, it is. It's just basically hiding the string when it's no longer needed. We might actually be able to go a lot further out than what they did. Do, 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 do. Yeah, like that. Well, that's sort of interesting. That makes a big difference. So this can come across like that. This goes sort of this way. So in some ways, this is a little bit easier than I kind of thought it would be. At the same time, it really strikes me as just very, very different than I expected. So, whoops. And this is going to change a little bit of how the blues travel, because obviously you have to have them coming over this way. Normally, I would just probably have them all going out one direction, but at some point they're going to have to actually change up a little bit. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It's just it just kind of makes the back a little bit different. Like I've had that blue and orange one we did a while back. That ended up having this like really cool looking look to the back of it, and I wouldn't mind doing stuff like that again. I think that's way cool. So, oh wait, we went one too far. This has to be the one that comes out. This is the one that comes through this way. Whoopsie doodles. All right. So these ones come out. Let's see how that goes. I guess that works. Yeah, so this is going to be obviously very different from the original. I could have made this part longer, which would have scooched this whole area up a little bit more. But honestly, I kind of didn't want that long area to just be, what makes this thing, more predominantly noticeable or whatever. Like that's not the part that I wanted to have the focus on. I liked this thing. So, yeah, that's pretty neat. And this is going pretty quickly. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so remember I talked about the whole white thing and how I didn't want to use the exact color white. This is partially why, because I can use this tool here, which is the select by color tool. And then I can use the paint. Well, first I'm going to draw in the color, this dark blue, right? And at this point, if you go over here to fill the whole selection, it will fill everything that you've already selected. So we selected everything that was in this color, and boom, now we have the other color. I'm going to hit Control A to make it so that way I now have the whole thing. It's all essentially. And there we go. We've colored in all of my background color, including the other side, which, yeah, that's obviously not how this thing's supposed to look. So we'll get rid of the our inspiration image. I'm going to come over here to the select tool, and I'm going to select the top half. And okay, now if I hit Control C, Control V, which is copy and paste, I now have a whole new layer sitting on top. Now I want to take that layer and I want to use the flip tool. I want to flip it vertically. And then I'm going to use the move tool and I'm going to slide it down and make it become the bottom half here. And we're going to make sure that we lined it up really good, which we did. Awesome. And now we just anchor that layer and we have our whole bracelet. So there it is. That was pretty quick, actually. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to make. Obviously it's going to use an awful lot of the blue string, and that's kind of it's kind of is what it is, right? But and two of those yellows are going to get used an awful lot. So the blue, I probably wouldn't be so worried about the length you're cutting it in, because you're using a whole bunch of strings and that'll get used relatively easy. The yellow I would be more concerned with when cutting up your string for this. So there you go. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. This has been fun. I look forward to making this. I'll put it together like next week, and we'll see how difficult it really is to make. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. All right, guys. Before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters who make the tutorials possible. I couldn't do it without their help. You're welcome to come and join them. We have all kinds of fun, and I share various insights and stuff with them. So that's a thing. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.